Welcome back, guys. Today I bring you round 2 of Open San Sebastian, and I broke like the stand for my mic, so I hope the sound is normal still and there's no issues, but let's see. If you notice something different, you already know. So this game I had the white pieces. I was playing against the Ilart Alcorta, 0 rated player, and let's see how the game went. So I started with d4, my opponent went knight f6, c4, I went for a queen's gambit setup with d4 c4. Here my opponent played d6 and I played knight f3. My idea was to play some sort of Catalan, my opponent here played b6, and now we are in a queen's Indian defense. And I've actually never played against Queen's Indian defense when I played a Catalan over the board. Even online, it's really rare for me to actually face it. So I decided to switch things up and play knight c3. And now my opponent played bishop b4, and I would say that we are back in Nimzo Indian territory here. And I was really outbook. I don't play these positions, but I decided to give it a shot because, you know, it's me and I always play something different. So after bishop b4, I decided to play queen c2, which is already a bad move. Actually, after bishop b7 here, my opponent is already better slightly, which is funny to actually be better as black in move 5. But my opponent didn't play bishop b7, thankfully. He played c5, which also makes sense. And I took on c5, he took with the bishop, and I played bishop g5. Just developing my bishop, and yeah, everything is normal. My opponent didn't really punish my opening inaccuracies, and we have the game. Here my opponent played bishop e7, which it clearly has to be a bad move. Why is it a bad move? Because this bishop already moved twice. He went into b4, and then after b4 it went to c5, and after c5 went to e7. So my opponent is wasting a lot of time with the same piece and is just behind in development. I played e4, just taking space in the center. Good move. My opponent went d6. And yeah, d6 looks logical to try to put maybe a knight on d7 to, you know, have that setup. But here there's already a sequence of moves that pretty much give white the winning position as move 9. I'm gonna challenge you guys to pause the video and try to find the best sequence of moves for white that pretty much gives white a winning advantage, and maybe write down it in the comment section down below. 85% of you guys that watch my videos aren't subscribed. If you enjoyed the videos, I would highly appreciate if you could hit that subscribe button. Let's get back into the video. And yeah, so the move here, the move that I played was bishop d3. It's a bad move. When there's a win, of course, a normal move is bad. So here the actually best move that pretty much gives white a winning advantage is e5. And it might look weird, so why does it give an advantage? Like takes, and what else? Here actually, after bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, we have queen e4. And queen e4 pretty much wins a piece. I'm attacking the rook. There's no way to defend the rook besides putting a piece between it. So yeah, here the best move is knight c6, and after knight c6 you can just take a free piece, and bishop d7 you go back, and yeah, you're just up a piece. You're probably even gonna pick up this pawn, and yeah, life is good. The game is over pretty much. So here after e5, the best that the engine gives for black is knight f d7, and here after bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, you still have queen e4, and you know, it's it's still like a big problem for black. Let's say you try d5, which seems to be the try that the engine likes best. So d5 here, you play c takes d5, and here the engine doesn't want you to take, wants bishop b7, but even still, just like bishop c4, and even though, okay, you didn't lose a piece, I mean, just look at black's position. He's like completely busted. Let's say a move like castles, it looks like everything is good, but after d6 you're already like losing, because bishop takes e4, queen, d takes e7, taking the queen. Now you're attacking the rook and the bishop is still hanging. So yeah, castles doesn't work. Let's just give the engine's best line, a6 here, and now queen g4, putting pressure here, and yeah, it's tough, it's tough. But yeah, so I played bishop d3, logical, just developing a piece, planning to castle. Here my pawn goes h6, and here I add the e5 move again, which I completely missed the idea. It's funny because it works still, like e5, let's say h takes g5 here, e takes f6, bishop takes f6, and now just bishop e4 attacking the rook again. And here the engine just wants me to actually, just wants black to give up the rook for the knight. And yeah, I mean, h6, bishop h4, knight fd7, and castle. So yeah, we have an equal position pretty much. Both sides should be happy with the outcome of the opening. Bishop b7 here, rook e1, defending the pawn an extra time, just to make sure there's no tactics in the future. Now knight c5, and here, you know, my opponent is attacking the bishop. I could move it away, maybe to f1 to keep defending this, but you know, this bishop is not that great, honestly, in my opinion. Like, I'm not scared of him taking the bishop here, and that's why I just prefer to develop the last piece, the rook on a1, and now I have some pressure on the d and e file. So you know, I liked my position here. My pawn castled, I played b4. b4 is not a great move, actually. b4 the computer doesn't like at all. The computer likes e5, which does make sense, opening up the bishop, but also opens this one. And yeah, this position here, you can't really take here. You would have to maybe take first here. Yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated for sure. But yeah, the computer likes this. I don't know. I didn't really want to go into these complications, so I just decided to play b4. Kind of forced him to take the bishop, almost, because it feels weird to go back. So he took the bishop, I took with the queen, and he played rook c8. And here, you know, the computer wants knight b5, makes sense, attacking a7, attacking d6, but I just didn't see it. I was playing very slow. I played a3, kind of protecting the pawn on b4. In the future, I was kind of afraid of d5 and the pawn would be hanging, so I just played a3. And here my opponent, you know, starts putting pressure on my weak c4 pawn. And yeah, I just decide to defend with knight d2. And yeah, the computer already prefers black. And yeah, just a couple of slow, inaccurate moves and the position can really turn around. Here my opponent played a6, stopping knight b5. I played rook dc1 because the rook wasn't doing much on d6. Now it kind of is x-raying the queen, so nice move. Rook d8. Here I just move out of the way because I didn't want my queen to be pinned. and to be on the same file as the rook. And here, I mean, you can pause the video. There's a tactic that pretty much wins a pawn for black and just makes black's position like way better. The move here is knight takes e4, which I totally missed during the game. I didn't think this would be possible, but after bishop takes e7, my opponent can do this intermediate knight takes e3, and I can't really take the rook because it takes my queen with check, and that's yeah, that's definitely not good. And after rook takes c3, just queen takes e7, and black is just up a pawn, and better. There's nothing more to say about that. So thankfully for me, my opponent missed it, and he played a really bad move. He played knight h7, and now I'm back in the game. My opponent just plays a really passive and really ugly looking move, and yeah, just decided to trade the bishops because you know, when your opponent has the bishop pair, you kind of want to trade it off. And here with this trade, now I play queen e3, and I hit the b6 pawn, so I'm gaining initiative, and yeah, that's very important, trying to come back into the position. Here my opponent defends the pawn on b6. I play f3, which is still slow, like the computer already won a knight a4, and f3 first, trying to, you know, stabilize the my pawns. And my opponent played knight f6, trying to bring the knight back into the game. Makes sense. I played knight a4 now, and my opponent played knight to d7. And here I was kind of struggling to find a plan. Yeah, because the position looks equal, and it looks like it's hard to just do a pawn break to try to enter the position. Like, everything is very well defended by black, and also I think my structure is also good. But yeah, I decided to just move around my knights. I decided to bring the knight back to b2, try to you know, massage the position and see what if he wanted to improve the position or if he just wanted like a draw. Of course, I wouldn't want to take a draw, but I wanted to see where his mind was. Play a little bit of waiting moves to see what he did. Here he played knight f6, so kind of repeating. And now I played my other knight, and I played to b3. And here, you know, I was trying to fish for a c5 break. I was trying something. Here my opponent out of nowhere plays queen d7, which at first when I saw queen d7 I didn't really think much about it. And it's funny because in this position I almost played knight a4, and I kid you not, I almost played knight a4, and knight a4 loses a piece and the game immediately. But I was thinking about playing knight a4, but then I realized, okay, wait a second, knight a4 and I lose the knight, so let's not play knight a4. And I was like, okay, finally I checked the position before playing a move. And then I thought, wait a sec, knight a4 was working just like a move ago, what happened? And then I see, okay, the queen is on d7, so the queen is no longer protecting b6. I was like, wow, I just took the pawn. And you know, like, it's funny because the pawn was hanging, and it took me like 5 minutes to realize. It took me like 5 minutes to realize that the pawn was hanging, which is kind of crazy, honestly. Yeah. And I almost played knight a4. Thank God I didn't play knight a4. I mean, I played queen takes on b6, and my opponent was very frustrated because, of course, he just blundered. And he quickly played d5, which is another blunder. Yeah, I just played knight c5, and now I'm winning a piece. I'm attacking the queen, and I'm attacking the bishop twice, so yeah, here my opponent decided to sack the exchange, which is the best try. Here I took with the queen, and my opponent took on e4, and here I just played rook d1. I can afford to play this because my knight is protecting the rook, and my other rook is also protecting the square, so he has to move away the queen. And here I didn't play rook takes on d8 immediately. I decided to play queen c7 first. I thought this was cleaner, attacking the rook, attacking the bishop. Here my opponent took the rook, I took back with the rook, and now I'm threatening everything. I'm threatening rook d8, I'm threatening the bishop, and here my opponent played queen c6, defending the bishop. And here I just traded because I saw this sequence that pretty much this wins the bishop. So I saw this and I was like, okay, this is good enough. And yeah, my opponent just sacrificed the bishop, and the rest was just a matter of an easy conversion. Although I made sure to spend my time here, so I didn't really blunder anything. And after a few moves, here my opponent resigned, and yeah, I won my first win of the tournament on the second round. It wasn't an easy game by any means, and you know, I still missed a lot of opportunities, which you know, I have to do my tactics, my puzzles, because you know, that e5 move was probably findable, honestly, by a stronger and more tactical player. But yeah, I'm still happy with this result. I feel like even though at some points I had a worse position, I managed to stay in the game, and you know, my opponent ended up blundering and I ended up taking the win. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and next game will be a very nice one against an higher rated opponent, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you so much. Bye bye.